excited to. Oh, yay. Thanks, Chrissy. Yes, I am so excited to introduce to you Michael Oehlmann. He has been just an amazing person to watch, coach to watch. I have been longing to meet him, and I got to meet him at leadership, and he is just as nice in person as he is online as you see him. He is so inspiring. Him and his wife are incredible people. I just can't wait for you guys to hear what he has to share. He is gosh, in the top 50 in the network right now. He is an 8-star diamond. Was it I'll let him share all the things. 4-time elite. I mean, he is just rocking it. And there's very few men that, do this business. And so to have him here being successful, telling us, sharing with us what all of his great knowledge and energy. I'm so excited for you guys to hear from him. And Michael, just to let you know, this is a combination of teams. So I have an elite success pod here, Chrissy Bergeron, Becky Parker, Megan Wadsworth, and Amy Wells, and they are leaders here. And we've brought some people to come listen to you. So I'm going to let you take it away.
Wow, this is awesome. I love doing these calls. I like talking to people that are not my team. I don't know. I just feel like I could be. I don't know why. I just feel like it could be more direct. It sounds weird saying that, but sometimes you have, when you know the personalities on your team, you have all these different personalities. You don't know how to kind of manage that sometimes. But since I don't know all you, I'm just going to give it to you. So that's just how it's going to go. So yeah, thanks for the introduction. My name's Michael Oehlmann, 7 years coaching, which is crazy. I still have a full-time job. So I do this with a full-time job. I'm a state trooper here in New Jersey. There's only a couple of guys, it feels like that are actually coaches. Actually, another one is a trooper in New York, Dave Atkins, and his wife. And then, there's a couple of like Jamie. I talked to Jamie Fitzpatrick from time to time. So it's amazing how the network is small. So I like that. I like the fact that it seems like the odds kind of are stacked against you, if you will. But yeah, my quick story is I started this. I was 7 years ago, but I was doing Beachbody way before that. I had such a great transformation, 12 years ago, and it literally started by someone saying, "You should try this workout." And I was kind of stuck in my ways, and I it was a big deal for me to try an at-home workout. Like it just didn't think that was my thing. Sure enough, from that day on, like literally one workout from one program, I have not done anything other than Beachbody since then. It was that impactful to me. Now I know that's not the norm for people. Usually they do a program, they like it, they get results, but that was my thing. So I just kept going. I'm very like, you tell me what to do and I'll do it as long as you're telling me I'm going to get X, Y, or Z result. So I continued down that road for years. And it wasn't until like years later where I tried our nutritionals, and it was like pulling teeth, because I'm such a stubborn, skeptical person. And they said, try it. Like you literally use it all and return the empty bag. Okay. A thrifty police officer. I need to hear those words. So that's what I did. And it's just ever since. So the way I got involved with coaching was a little not traditional. Since I was getting great results with the programs and the products, I was telling people about this, not even realizing there was a coaching opportunity. People were like, wow, you're looking great. And, what are you doing? And I'm telling them, and I guess they're going to get it. I have no idea what they did from that point on, but it wasn't until a friend kind of dared me to audition for a Shaun T program. And it was in the city. I didn't like the city. I wasn't a huge Shaun T fan at the time. Like all these things are like, he's laughing now, but that was the story. So I went like on a whim with Heather to an audition. in the city, and it was a 2-day audition. You had to get through the first day to go to the second day. It's totally different now. It's not how they run it, but you're in a spot. Now what? I have a full-time job. Like, how am I going to do this? So I made it work. I'd get up very early, take the train to the city, and do all that stuff. I'd come home. I'd work the afternoon, evening shift, get a couple hours of sleep, like do it over again. I did that for 5 weeks. So that's how I started coaching. I started coaching because I met other coaches, which is kind of what the point I'm trying to get at here. I met other coaches, and I could not believe that these people were so supportive, positive, like a family. And I'm like, holy cow, I don't have any of that. Like, that's missing out of my life. Like, I'm in a negative environment. That's just what law enforcement is, but I know that, I knew that going into it. And I'm like, I need more of this. So it was always just like this little burning flame inside of me saying, you should do more, you can do more, like there's more out there. And I think that's why the audition and why I actually went, because I was seeking something and I loved the programs. And then I connected with the coaches there. I connected with Sean, and so that was my start. Anyway, so how does that impact what I'm going to talk to you tonight about? I think it's because the actions that I took determined my outcome. So it wasn't wanting to do it. It wasn't like thinking about it. It wasn't, it was taking action that ultimately led to being a coach and then being successful. But that's not good enough either, right? So, because once you become a coach, you have to be able to do the things, because life is going to throw itself at you, as it did my first year into coaching, when I was eventually diagnosed with cancer. And I found that out, ironically enough, after Max 30. I was in the best shape, as you can imagine. I started developing pain in my arm. I was doing crazy, like workouts and push-ups. I could do anything. I was like literally a Superman. I was so fit. Not that I'm not now, but it was like everything all came together then. I started developing pain in my arm, which we thought was exercise induced. It turned out to be lymphoma. I got diagnosed after 8 very long, frustrating, painful months. We eventually found out what it was. And that was a year into coaching. And I didn't stop. I didn't stop. I just kept going. I could put my head down because I knew kind of where I wanted to go. So what I'm going to share with you tonight is sort of like, it's like taking inventory as to where you are and where you want to go. So I think I can share my screen. Let me see if I can, otherwise I'll need to yeah, I can. Okay. So I'm going to share my screen. And when I did this exercise with my coach, it kind of hit home, and hopefully you'll get something out of it, whether you're a coach for 8 weeks or 9 years. I think it's relevant either way. And just a thumbs up if you can see that. Okay, good. All right. So the business victory lap and how to get to the winner's circle. Yeah, this actually came from Tony Robbins, this line. It's not doing something well for a year, then doing the same crap for 9 years and saying you have 10 years experience doesn't cut it. So a big thing for me very early on was being willing to do what I needed to do. I wasn't on social media. I was a skeptical police officer who didn't want to spend any money. I had no business experience. I knew I loved health and fitness. I knew I loved this. So there was that. And I knew there was something inside of me telling, like this burning flame, very kindly small at the time, but that there was something more for me to do. And it was just a matter of, was I going to take action to do it? So was I going to continue down the road I was going, or was I going to make a change? And again, I did all this during, while having a full-time job, which I still do, which I have two years left. Not that I'm counting the days. So, okay. But there's a lot of times in our business that we're feeling that the victory lap is not in sight. What makes me come alive is growing. And that was probably one of the biggest hurdles. I tell this story, I've told this story a number of times, but I remember Sean pulling me aside because he was like, well, so what are you going to do? Like, you're going to coach? Like, and I said, I don't know. Like, he knew I was a trooper. His Sean's track coach in high school was a trooper. So he was very familiar, and he didn't know all this before I met him. And I said, I'm not sure, I'm not sure I have the job. And he goes, well, if you're going to do it, understand that you're not going to be successful unless you're willing to get vulnerable. And I'm like, oh, yeah, that could be a problem. I had to think long and hard about that, because being on social media, especially 7 years ago, and in law enforcement, like it was frowned upon, and it was something that I know Heather was kind of saying, like, you can't go on social media. Like, that's not you. I'm like, yeah, I know, but there's something, right? There's something there. So, and then the next part of that was, what makes your life meaningful is like progress. And I felt like I was not progressing in a lot of different areas. So anyway, that's how it began. So here is what this comes down to. All right. Where are you in your business? So I'm going to go through these, and I want you to put them in the comments what number you think you're at. Like, really think about it before you put your answer in there, because I'm going to go through these. So 1, you're stationary or going in and out of rank, but you're okay with that. You want to grow, advance, but you're not sure what's missing and where you can improve. You're hungry for more. You're doing all the things, but you're on the verge of burnout. You want to grow, advance, and willing to do whatever it takes to succeed, just needing directions. So throw in where you think you are in your business right now. Let me see if I can open the chat over here. Slide down. Okay, 2, 2, 2, 4. Oh, that's 2. Okay, 2, 1. Okay, so let's go through these, because I saw an interesting comment there. So it's kind of like a gut check time. Okay, so your words or desires or hopes and dreams do not dictate your answer. Now, keep in mind, you could literally be a coach for 9 weeks. I wish I kind of dove into this earlier in my coaching career, and I didn't wait so long, because I think that's another big regret I have, is kind of maybe not realizing, and maybe through no fault of my own, not realizing just how much control and potential you have over the outcome. So the right answer, so listen to that first part: your words, your desires, your hopes, your dreams do not dictate your answer. The right answer is not your answer. What you think, what's that? You need me? Okay. All right. What you think you should say is not your answer. Your answer is birthed out of your internal truth and the actions you take to back it up. So what you want and what you desire, your hopes and dreams, if they're not backed up, that's all they are. They have to be backed up by actions. All right, we did that one. Sorry. So let's break this down. Number 1, I'm going to close the chat here so I can see this. You're stationary, you're going in and out of rank, but you're okay with that. And that can be okay. Like, you can be okay with that. There's nothing wrong with that. Okay. But typically, if someone is trying to, they're really looking to build a significant business, and they're really trying to put their head down and go, their actions might not dictate what they're saying. So they're not attending team calls or recordings. Obviously, you're all here. And I know things pop up and people can't be on every call. Not up to date on coach news, new launches, etc. Not inviting multiple people multiple times a week, and not investing in your PD daily. I got a message from a 2-star coach of mine yesterday, and it was like basic coach information. I was disappointed almost, that like, how are you at this stage, this many years in, and you ask such a basic question. So it tells me that they're not fully engaged any longer, even though, you know, their rank might indicate something else. It's not always the case. Okay, so those actions show that you're okay with it. So you're either okay with it, or you need to change your actions. And it's okay to be okay with it. I think that's an important thing to point out, because everybody has, you know, looking for a different thing from the business. It doesn't have to be, your desires don't have to be the same as mine. Your goals and dreams don't have to be the same as mine. And that doesn't mean I'm right or you're right, or I'm wrong or you're wrong. Okay, so don't expect results. This is the big one, from work you didn't do. And I know myself included, but a lot of coaches that I've worked with, that they're expecting results from the work they didn't do, or the time they didn't serve yet. Because a lot of this business sometimes is time served. Okay. 2, you want to grow and advance, but you're not sure what you're missing, or where you can improve. So you're attending team calls and recordings. You're up to date on coach news, new launches, etc. You're inviting multiple people multiple times a week. You're investing in PD daily, but you're not investing in business growth programs. You're not trying to work on business growth. I'll touch on that in a second, but you're not leaning in enough, asking enough questions, applying, testing, implementing enough strategies. Essentially, you're doing the minimum. And when you do that, it's fine, but you have to understand that that might not get maximum results. It might get minimum results. You know, I try to encourage my coaches to, like, Success Club 5 is just barely treading water. That your goal should be bigger if you yourself have bigger goals. Again, that's for them to determine, not me. I'm just to present what's possible so they can make their own determination. So you did the work to get there, but the team and the work and who you are, and who you are that got you there is not going to get you to the next level. So I remember my coach saying the people that are going to get you to diamond, the group that you're going to work with to get to diamond is not going to be the same people that are going to be there for 2-star. And I was like, wait, what? Like, and that's just the fact, because you might run faster than them, or, you know, things happen, people fall off and new people come in. The good thing is you're not stuck. You have paralyzed yourself due to your unwillingness to implement change, and change and me are, yeah, we don't get along at all. So that was something I had to really level up on. I must grow up to go up. And I don't mean like just grow up, get like more mature. Like you literally need to grow as a person. And this piece of it is so hard to explain to somebody. If I said, okay, what's the one thing I want to make sure you do every single day before you do anything else? It would be to sharpen your mind with something that you need to hear, personal development wise. It could be listening, it could be reading, and not just doing personal development for the sake of doing personal development. Doing the personal development that you specifically need, that's going to connect to you to drive the action forward that you need to take. I'm just going to open this chat up again. Let me just make sure. Okay. All right. I was having technical difficulties. Hold on. Give me 1 second here. Okay, sorry. I have a little computer issue at the house. Okay, so 3, you are hungry for more. You're doing all the things, but you're on the verge of burnout. How many people have been there? Like that's right. You're attending too many team calls and recordings. You're up to date on coach news, new launches, etc. You're inviting multiple people multiple times a week. You're investing in personal development, but you're investing in too many business growth programs. You're a perpetual learner. You're trying to learn all the things that if I just learn one more thing or do all these things, I'm going to be that much more successful. And sometimes that's a hindrance when you're, maybe I don't even think it's being a perfectionist. I think it's more of just trying to absorb too much and do too many things when the business is way more basic and simple than that, and we overcomplicate it too much. So not leaning in enough, asking the right questions, applying, testing, implementing the right strategies. Okay, so you're working harder, not smarter. This is not sustainable or desirable long-term and can be a business killer. Don't dig your own grave. Or at least work harder and smarter. So if you're going to be the super hard worker that's going to put lots of hours in because that's what you want to do, just make sure you're working smart and hard at the same time so you don't get that burnout, because you'll be progressing. Every business owner goes through this. It takes momentum to get going. Then you must tweak the process, adjust your sales, as I like to say, along the way, as the direction of the wind's blowing. So the last one is 4. You want to grow, advance. You're willing to do whatever it takes to succeed. Just needing direction. So again, you're doing all the things in the beginning, but what you're not doing is asking the right questions to the right people yet, or simply need to stay the course because you are doing the things. You need to keep going because it is time served, as I mentioned before, and continue to trust the process. So with that last one, I think that that's where like your mentor or your whether you invested in some sort of business development, business growth type thing or person or program, or your own upline or somewhere, someone is kind of like got you in the huddle and kind of looked at what you were doing and where you wanted to go and the actions that you were taking. And then just, it's like leadering up. It's like, okay, what are the leadership things that I'm not able to do or need to learn that are being left behind? Because ultimately your goal, your job is, yes, to get people results, but that also means you're getting people results in their business. So, you know, a major shift happens at some point in your business where you're working much more with your leaders and helping them grow and develop. And it's less about you, if that makes sense, right? It's more about helping other leaders become leaders, because that's how you build a massive organization. And it doesn't need to be your own personally sponsored. I think that's an important point to make here. It's anyone in your downline. It doesn't matter. I don't care. 7 levels deep. It doesn't matter. That person who wants to run, that you can help, can be organizational changer. So, you know, I think we get very hung up on our own personally sponsored. Just understand that you should be looking at your downline. Anyone in your downline, I don't care who they were sponsored by, is someone that you should have your eye on. And whether you're talking to their coach or you're just saying, hey, I'd love to jump on a call with you and just get to know them better, I think that's a big deal. So the last one here is, you're on the right track. You're creating $1 million business. You must continue to uncover the areas that you're currently holding you back and actively work on them. You must continually check this and see what is currently in this month, this week, holding you back, and actively work to change that. That is a process that it's a monthly thing almost. You know, it's definitely a quarterly thing, but it's almost a monthly thing sometimes, because we just get, that's just how this business works. So, all right, let me open this chat up. Let me stop this. Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to pop on my phone. Heather had a great idea. She's in the background. She's doing a Zoom at 9 and she needs the laptop. So let me just log in here real quick and I'll switch over and I'll talk to you guys on the phone. Here. All right. Let's see. Zoom. Okay. Hold on one second, guys. Sorry. Can you guys hear me here? Yep. Okay. Let me get off that. All right, you can take that. All right, so what do we got? Let's see if I can open the chat. Okay, questions. What do you guys have for me question-wise? Chat here.
Can I unmute myself and ask?
Go ahead.
Okay, can you hear me? All right, good.
Yep.
So first of all, thank you for sharing that. I absolutely love the way that was broken down. And I know some people in the chat were like, I did too, like I'm a 0.5 or like I'm this, like kind of in between. And I was going to ask, having been in the business this long, I'm coming up on almost 8 years too. And I know we have a lot of people on here too. You've probably, business up and down, up and down. What is some advice you can give to people that might be in a lull just to kind of get back going?
Yeah, so we often hear about motivation and, I've lost motivation or I don't have motivation. I've been there a number of times. I think the key to the motivation, first of all, this is momentum business. It's 100% is. So, and that is keeping that motivation. But the motivation typically weans when you don't take the action, because it's action and results that lead to motivation, not motivation leading to action. Although everyone thinks that's the case, it's really not. The long-term motivation comes after you do the thing that you maybe are not doing, or you need to do more of it, or you need to switch exactly what you're doing because you're not doing the right things. It's very easy to get lost in this business and avoiding all the logistic stuffs and all the creative stuff and all the things that are quote unquote fun to do, but they're not the things that got you there. So we forget the things that got us where we need to go, and we do all the other stuff, leaving the most important thing, which is connecting with other people, inviting and following up. I'm just assuming everyone is not having an issue with the being a product of the product part. That I always see, only because I've had the experience myself, is what stops people in those slumps. So massive action gets you back on course. Almost always.
I absolutely love that. I couldn't agree more. I actually, my downline's on here too. And I always say, like, take messy action, right? Because like we have a lot of perfectionists on our team that like overthink things, and it's like you gain that confidence little by little. Thank you.
Yeah. Do it afraid. It's like do it like messy. I like that. I'll have to steal that version of it. Just because it doesn't feel good when it's like that. So then you don't want to do it again. And that can just be a bad conversation, a bad message. It's hard to say what sidetracks people, but yeah, it always comes back together when you have that person. You're like, oh my God, yes, I thoroughly enjoy working with this person, this coach, or this customer. Yes. And that reminds you maybe why you started in the first place.
Absolutely.
Hey, Michael, Amy is working on 6th grade math right now, but she has a question for you.
That's impossible.
Amy, are you there? Okay, I think she's still working on 6th grade math, but she is saying, how do you motivate when the negativity sets in? What do you tell your coaches? How do you level up?
I mean, there's no simple answer. I'll give you an example. I got a comment on a YouTube video that was like really negative. Yeah, it was an old YouTube video, but like I get notifications when people make comments on this particular one, and it was just very negative. And then I started I sat down with myself basically and just why am I getting so angry? Like, why am I responding this way? And then I started looking at like almost every ad. Like I did this actually today, which is funny what you said that is I was looking at a lot of different ads that came through on Instagram and whether it be Facebook, and I was looking at other YouTube videos and into the comments section, which I don't typically go into the comments section of YouTube videos. And it's shocking how many videos and ads have an overwhelming negative response in the comments section. And then I'm like, this is just how people are. Like, this is just how it is. I thoroughly believe that like Gandhi, if he had a Facebook or Instagram account right now, he would have negative comments on that. Like no matter how good a person you are, you're going to have people that are going to try to thumb you and kind of step on you. So how do you deal with it? If you believe in your heart, like inside your heart, that you're doing the right thing, the right work, and the purpose behind that is like there's integrity and like on, this is like maybe my law enforcement part coming out of it, like that duty, that integrity. I feel like that is what keeps me on track, and I can't let the one comment or two comments or negative response cloud the 98 or 99 out of the 100, which is typically what happens. If you really look at it, there's far more people cheering for you than cheering against you. So there's always going to be someone. I actually did a post the other day, like there's always someone praying that you're going to fail. And there's like a lot more people praying that you never stop. So listen to the majority here, so.
Thanks, Michael. Did you see Lay Mommy's question in the chat? Can you see it?
Go ahead. What?
Maybe Lay Mommy can.
Okay. Is this okay? Is your target market men that one? Okay. Yeah. If so, how do you overcome the obstacles? Okay. So this is a funny one because my target market is not, and it probably just should be, and I just refuse to accept that that's my target market. I guess because I don't want to deal with myself. Like I don't want to deal with the guy who just is going to give like the no, stubborn, excuse, objection, skeptical. Like that was me, which I should then be more sympathetic, right, to those people but I just like, I almost like don't even want to deal with me. As pathetic as that sounds. Like I enjoy working with women more, I guess, simply because, well, first of all, I think they're just better listeners. So they'll actually listen to what you're saying. And then second, I think business-wise, I think women are better business people for the most part, especially in this business. And I think a lot of areas like women are, and I'm in a predominantly male law enforcement business. And I'm just like, if we had some women coaches running some of the units that we have in the state police, we'd be way better off. It's like, I don't know. It's just the way it is. So I enjoy that more. But when I do work with guys, I try to be upfront and as possible with them to let them know that I understand where you're coming from. Like I understand because I'm that guy, but guys are so stubborn. So I get more joy out of not that, that not being my, my avatar. Although if I'm being truthful with myself, I probably at this point in my, I should probably be switched and target more guys. But yeah, so stubborn. That's men. Hopefully that answered your question, but was there a second part of that? Let me just pull that up real quick. So it was overcome any obstacles when getting men into the programs. Yeah, I mean, maybe this will help, whether it's a guy or a girl though. And if I get an objection on anything, I'll pretty much say, I'll either use myself as an example. Like if you want my results, if you want Heather's results, if you want X, Y, and Z and our team's results, I need you to do what they did. I need you to follow it the way they did it. And then after 30 days, we'll have a conversation, and I'll, and either I'm going to be right or you're going to be right. You're going to prove me wrong. And if it's a guy, I'll try to like connect with him on. I don't know if anybody saw like Days of Thunder with you probably did, because it was with Tom Cruise, right? The old Days of Thunder thing where he's a NASCAR driver, and Harry's his crew chief, and Harry goes 30 laps on the tires my way and 30 laps on the tires his way. And of course, like Tom Cruise's tires were like all beat up and destroyed, and they had nothing left. They're like on fire. And Harry's way of driving was like they were in good shape, and his lap times were a lot faster. I kind of use that analogy. Like you need to trust and believe, as Sean always says, and give me the 30 days and let me show you. And please prove me wrong. Follow it and tell me I'm wrong. So it's a little bit more of a challenge with the guys. And I would encourage you, all the ladies on here, don't shy away. Just like I kind of like gravitate towards helping women more, don't shy away from helping guys. I think a guy, at least for me, I was more open to listening to a woman who was strong in her convictions and who felt like she really knew what she was talking about. So have the confidence and the posture and just challenge them. Like just challenge them. I don't know if that would, it worked with me. Did you have an aha moment in your business, or was it more a blinders on one day? You look back and realize how far you actually come. Yeah, I mean, Meredith, I almost still feel like that 7 years in. Like I still feel like I just started. I kind of had that. And I was warned about this. Like, don't let the string between you and the person you were when you started get too far. You need to keep that close as you go, so that you stay relevant to a new coach. And I think I definitely find myself falling away, and the slack gets too wide, and I can't understand that new coach, because when you're doing it so long, you're just like, just do X, Y, and Z. Like, just it wasn't. I remember, but I did have my blinders on. I did. I didn't get into like having a full-time job and working this, which is not easy. So for all of you on here that are doing that, and I consider being a stay-at-home mom a full-time job, just 100% on that. I know it's not easy. And that's kind of why I did that PowerPoint tonight, because I want you to just realize that you have far more control. It's not going to be easy for a while. That's just the way it is. And I can't sugarcoat that. But if you're really looking to drive and build a big business, it's making trade-offs. It's a never-ending making trade-offs, and just making sure that you keep priorities in order, and making sure that you're doing the things as often and as frequently as you possibly can, just like you would follow a program, and you wouldn't want to miss 2 days out of that week. So I follow this mantra: I win the week. I know I'm not going to win every day, but at the end of the week, did I complete the program? Did I get all the days in, even though I did 4 in a row and didn't miss the one, or I missed 3 and I did 5 in a row? No, that's 8 days, 4 in a row. So yeah, 6th grade math. And it's if I win the week, I know I'm going to win the month. So if I keep winning weeks, I know I win months, and then I win years. So I know if I do it on a daily schedule, I'm going to be very disappointed in myself, because you can't be perfect, but you win the week. And that's kind of what I did throughout my cancer battle. Like, I just wanted to win the week, and I carried that through with coaching. So the same thing I did with nutrition and my programs, I did that with the business. If it works with the programs and nutrition, there's no reason why it won't work with the business, even though it feels like you're not going anywhere oftentimes, right? So hopefully that answered your question. I have a question for you guys. If you want to put in the chat, and is anyone pushing for an end of year goal? Like, does anyone have something that they're pushing for? And the reason why I ask is because I feel like there needs to be another deadline for yourself. You have to have some self, like no one's, again, I have a full-time job. You might have a full-time job or a part-time job where like you're checking in and like you're punching a clock and like someone is looking for you and like you have a boss, right? Well, when you're your own boss, when you're an entrepreneur, and I see the things coming in. That's awesome. So it's a massive amount of discipline to set your own deadlines, your own lines in the sand that you're going to push for. And it doesn't mean you fail if you don't get there, because look what you've been able to do to maybe reach there. So if you're pushing for 2-star or 5-star or being diamond or whatever it may be for you, put that date down. Talk to your coach, like, what's the date of the next thing? So I just was like, what's the next thing? I'd ask my coach, what's the next thing? Like, I'm making no money. I'm helping what I felt like was like not that many people, but it's like, what's the next thing? Well, you did that. Okay, well, what's next? And then we talked about what was next. And then I'm like, okay, I'm going to go for that goal. I'm going to go for that date. I liked incentives. So if you've told me you're going to get X, Y, and Z from them, like I was driven towards that. I needed something to make me do the things because there wasn't a boss saying, do the things. Like, you need to show up for work today. And the last thing while I'm thinking about it is, this was very helpful for me too. When someone said, well, how many sick days do you get in your job? Now, it was an unfair question to me because I actually get unlimited sick days at work, which ironically, when you do that, people actually take less sick days when they get like 12. This is like fact. Like, companies that have unlimited sick days, they use less sick days than people that have like 12, let's just say. But let's just say you have 12 sick days. How many days did you call out sick at work? How many days did you call out in your business sick? So if you did nothing for the week, like, you used most of your sick days up, right? You used half of your sick days up in 1 week. So keep that mentality in your head, and working an hour a day, an hour and a half, 2 hours a day is your day. So when I'm looking at my like 8 or 10 hour day at my normal job, and I'm like, wait, I can work 2 hours and have control over what happens and my rank and how much money I earn. It's all based upon the number of people that I help. That lights me up. I get excited about that. All right. So 5-star, 1-star by 24th. Okay. I know why you're going for 1-star on the 24th. It's a new leader conference. Correct me if I'm wrong. 1-star feels big and scary, but it's so doable. Yeah. And I don't know your situation, Brianna, but like, if you do have a spouse, and they have an account, it's not scary and it's completely doable. Like it's not even completely doable. It's going to happen. If you don't, then we can, certainly have that conversation, because there's other options for you. I want star diamond, just knowing that that I helped coaches, right? Yeah. So I get lit up on my coaches being successful. You can't take credit for their failure, but you also can't take credit for their success. I love that too. When I was told that, I'm like, yeah, that's powerful. Like, yeah, you can't live by their success, but if that's what lights you up, you also can't get depressed when someone is not successful, because that's their decision. And it doesn't mean you're not a good leader. I talked a lot, Tanya. I don't want to keep you guys.
Oh my gosh, all of it was wonderful. I think everybody got so much out of this call. And we have brand new coaches to veteran coaches, and I feel like everybody got something out of it. So I so appreciate you joining us. That call was excellent. You guys, Michael is just such a great guy. And I know, like, if you have other questions or whatever, let me know. I can connect you with him.
Yeah, I
But
know you guys have multiple teams on here, so if there's people, I am a big proponent of maybe trying to match up like coaches from teams as like success partners, or just like to bounce ideas back. And it doesn't have to be like a long-term relationship. I know people sometimes get into these like success, they might have a success starter. It could just be like for a month. You could be like, hey, we're for a quarter. Hey, for the next quarter, I'd love to talk or bounce the ideas back and forth. Or I have a date like that's similar to your date, and it helps you maybe keep accountable towards that, and like you guys fight together, as a team, if you will. I find that's pretty cool. So everyone's not into that, but if you are, definitely reach out to Tanya, and we can maybe match up time, rank, goals, and maybe we can pair some people up if they're interested.
that would be fantastic. That would
Cool.
be wonderful. Well, thank you so much, Michael. Definitely appreciate that. If everybody else could stay on, Becky, I'm going to have her talk about our push group, but we so
Cool.
appreciate your time. Thank you, Michael.
Thanks, guys. Awesome stuff. See you guys.
Becky, did you
Hi,
want to talk about
guys.
our group?
Yes. So can you guys hear me? Yeah. Okay. So we were chatting in our, so how to really, drive home the end of the year. And obviously I know, as a mother of 3 animals, Christmas is expensive, right? Holidays are expensive. So we wanted to kind of put together a little push group called Pushing for the Presents. I mean, if you guys win, you can choose to do whatever you want with the money, but our intention was, with Christmas and the holidays coming, how can we really put our foot on the gas and specifically try to earn $500 by Christmas? So we made a group, and we thought that we would do a $20 buy-in, which I don't want new coaches to be scared of this. The intention is, well, obviously we have like some financial intentions here, but I know for me, I'm a little bit more motivated when I got a little extra skin in the game, right? So and you're going to hear from each one of our success pod. We're going to share some power hours that we've loved doing from the Beachbody Champions page. So we're just going to kind of be in there holding your hands and running at whatever pace you guys want, with the intention of slaying some goals by Christmas, or the holidays, I should say. I'm trying to think. Oh, and we're going to do super fun, because I love my Canva, right? We're going to aim to fill our trees, right? Well, actually, they're not trees, they're presents, but we're going to aim to fill our presents, and we're going to have 2 opportunities to win a little portion of the pot. So the first opportunity is going to be December 1st, assuming that we have locked in Success Club, or filled our, what are we going to call it? Like our sheet, right? So either hit Success Club or fill the sheet. That's going to be the first opportunity to win half of the pot, because we know if we make you wait 2 months, maybe you take your foot off the gas come December 1st, right? But this way we want you just as committed for the next, what is it, like 53 days left in this year. How scary is that? And I know people have a lot of goals, and there's 2 things that, like, what's that quote that inspires action is desperation and inspiration. To me, hearing that there's almost 50 days left in this year is a little terrifying, but also like it kind of lights a fire under my butt to be like, hey, I had big, huge goals this year. I'm nowhere near where I thought I would be, but I'm not taking my foot off the gas. Like, I am going, going, going. And at the end, when that ball drops, December 31st, I'm going to put my head on my pillow, knowing that I did everything I could. And so if you're not there yet, feed from our fire, and we're going to give you the environment that you need to really push for the end of the year. I went on a tangent, but I hope that I had like verbal diarrhea. I get excited about these groups. So we'll make the page and we're going to add everybody over the weekend and we'll like officially kick it off on Monday. So more details will be coming, but it's open, $20 buy-in. Let's make some money, change some lives, and I don't know, slay some goals. Does anybody have questions about that?
So Beck, just to clarify for people,
Yeah.
you can win half the pot, right, on December
Yes.
1st for hitting Success Club or filling up your presence.
Yes.
Then at the end of December, so January 1,
January 1.
you could earn the second part. So we'll have a deadline for money, I would assume, so that we know what the pot is, or
Yes.
okay.
100%. Yep. And we want to keep it fun and we want to make sure that you guys are motivated all the way through. So we thought the 2 opportunities was a really good way to make sure that we don't kind of peel back. So maybe we say, we'll fill everybody up over the weekend. See, you guys get to see like a little behind the scenes here. This is like what happens in our success pod. It takes all 5 of us to be like, okay, so this weekend we're going to like put everything in the page and who's going to do this and what, but we'll put you in the group over the weekend and maybe we'll say Monday money needs to be in by, right? Because let's strike while the iron's hot. Do you disagree?
No, Becky, that's exactly. I think that sounds perfect. Christy had a question about hitting.
No questions. No, I'm just kidding. What?
So Christy's asking if you hit Success Club, you get a part of the pot, right?
Correct.
So if you help 3 people, for especially my new coaches and our new coaches, if you help 3 people with a total solution pack or startup and Shakeology and you get your 5 Success Club points, you get part of that pot. Half of the pot, we're going to take the total and split it. If you have new coaches that join, they can, did we decide that we're going to let them, because if we have some new coaches that join in and you've gotten some people, they can put in their money and that'll go towards the December pot. And then they have a chance to win that.
And the reason we said Success Club, I know some people are like, well, that's just Success Club, but that's the foundation, right? Like we make this so hard sometimes, but it's our foundation. Hitting Success Club and adding new customers, new preferred customers, new coaches, like that's where it starts. So when we take ourselves back to that, we're like, oh, for your new
Is she frozen?
Yes. I was just typing in the chat. I'm like, is it just me?
I'm like, is she frozen? Megan's frozen. Megan's frozen. But it really is that she's still frozen. But it really is taking us back to that foundation. You guys, Success Club it is an important piece of growing our business. And I know Candace shared a call with Chrissy and Becky. I don't know if you've watched it, but it's something I'm going to share with my team.
Yes.
It was a call done, I think this past week, about how body and hitting Success Club can catapult your income. And it'll explain, it's a numbers kind of thing, but it'll show you how hitting Success Club and having those people join you and continue on with Shakeology and how it can impact your income, which is really, really interesting and so good to know as we continue on with this launch on body. So I will share that. But I think what Megan's getting at is back to the basics. Hitting Success Club is a key piece of growing your business. So 3 people or more.
3 people or more. So that's another, we want to see, and we didn't even really talk about this, but I'm all for it. The first person to like completely cover their tree. I feel like we should give like a nice little present for that too. Like the first one out of the entire group.
Oh, Becky.
What? Go ahead.
The tree can be filled out with any purchases, right? Any customer purchases. Okay.
And 3 must be the total solution packs, which inadvertently all roads lead to Success Club, right? Kind of like what you're talking about. And I feel like it's good to touch on this for a little bit because I feel like Success Club sometimes gets like a bad rap, right? Like, well, why just help 3 people? Why does it have to be the total solution? And I think it's a little bit bigger than that. I think it shows that you are progressing people through the funnel, right? Because like even if people come in and they try with collagen or they do a weekender or they do something, like, are you still giving them the absolute best experience in your groups? Are other people talking about the products? Are all of these things, right? So it's almost, it's not just helping like 3 brand new people and then you're done. Like it's kind of like making sure that you are forming those relationships with potential customers, challengers, and coaches, right? So like kind of progressing them through that funnel. So we can, chat about that too in the group. We're all open books, so we're still kind of dialing how we'll get you all that information, but I'm really excited for the opportunity to do so.
Yeah. And what I'm really excited about is that my team is going to get the nuggets from Becky and Amy and Chrissy and Megan. So you're going to get them, these entire 2 months. So that's also what you're investing in by jumping in with your $20 pot. You're going to get more leaders to listen to and
Well,
find
yeah. And I think a good thing, right, is I know we've said this before, but I know there's a couple of new coaches on here. The 5 of us couldn't run our businesses differently, right? And I think we've all had success and we all have different things, right? So like that's what I love about this pod is like maybe somebody on my team doesn't connect or doesn't know what it's like to have like 3 animals at home or like a toddler where I can't plan what happens like in 3 days, like to someone like Tanya who's so good with her schedule, and Amy too is like ridiculous about her schedule. When you have that full-time job, she's up before me and she's across the country, right? So like you will relate to someone at this point, and like I love that the opportunity is presented. I think that's so fun. My husband's laughing at me. I can hear him in the other room. I'm just going to shut up because I could just verbal diarrhea forever. Oh,
Amy's has a child up for sale.
Maybe 2. I mean, I'm trying to be like in my lane, but I'm like, Becky, I hear you. Like we're all in our own little special way. And it's busy and wild and we're dinosaurs, all the things, but like we'll help you. Like just like lock in. Doesn't matter like your ability level that you think you have or your time. Like you have time to make this business work no matter what.
100%.
Absolutely. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for joining us tonight. Let your coaches know if you are going to be joining our push group. Okay, hope to see you guys there. And
Tanya, thanks for setting this call up. It was great.
Of course. Have a good night, everybody.
Bye, guys.
Love you guys.